You must be amazed by the visual effects of the Avengers Endgame. In this video we will discuss what is the secret behind these effects. Why is it so cool? And what was the process? Did you know in the Avengers Endgame, there are 2,500 shots that use visual effects out of a total of about 2,700 shots? It's mean 90% of them are visual effects. Marvel Studio involved 13 visual effects companies and spent $356 million to complete many visual effects. You can see at the end of the film who was involved in making this visual effect. They are two of the most well-known visual effect companies are Industrial Light and Magic in San Francisco and Meta Digital based in New Zealand. These two companies took the largest portion of the visual effects in Avengers Endgame. The visual effects of the Avengers were split up to these companies. For example, the Hulk part was handed over to Industrial Light and Magic, and Thanos part was handed over to the Digital Domain. And now, we discuss how they work. Don't think that making Hollywood effects is enough for you to learn one of the three-dimensional or animation software. And then you expect to produce a cool effects? Each of these companies has complex mechanisms. The stages are very long and each stage is carried out by different departments. Let's take this scene as an example. In this scene the Avengers fight against aliens while moving from one place to another. It makes one long shot without cuts. How did they do it? What they did first was to make this kind of animation, a kind of storyboard but in the form of animation, as an illustration of how this scene should be made. This process is called pre-visualization. After that they started designing what the shooting would be like and how they would combine it. They had to shoot a green screen with 4 different set locations, because the actors and the locations had to connect with each other. They had to take thousands of photos of New York City from various angles, and they construct them in 3 dimensions. That's why they are free to place each character and direct it anywhere in the virtual city. The characters are mostly 3-dimensional characters made on a computer, as known as CGI. The characters have to be designed before other parts. For example, Hulk. First they have to design their body and face in 3 dimensions. This stage is called modeling. To create Hulk's face, they scan Mark Ruffalo's face, because Hulk has to transform from his face. The structure of his skin, the wrinkles on his face were made similar and they designed all possible facial expressions and gestures, so when the Hulk runs, punches, it looks realistic. After they made the character, they went into the animation part. They use motion capture technology, so they didn't have to manually animate the character, because each actor was given special clothes like this during shooting to capture every move. So the Hulk character in the computer would follow his movements automatically and natural. The animators just need to perfect it. The actor is also given dots on his face and a small camera is installed in front of him to capture his mouth and expressions, so the Hulk's mouth speaks and expresses exactly like the actors. From modeling and animation, we get in the shading and texturing stage. The CGI characters are smoothed out, so the skin must look like skin, the metal must look like metal, the wounds, scratches must also be added, so this process determines whether the CGI character looks real or not. And now, the simulation stages. This section takes care of things that are impossible to do manually, such as the massive armies at war. It is impossible to direct thousands of actors and it is impossible to make the CGI one by one. They use what is called crowd simulation. This technique turns tens of characters into hundreds or thousands in one scene with different random moves. The simulation stages also handle of explosions, destruction of buildings, and others. We immediately go in the final stage. It's called compositing. This is where all the elements from all parts are combined into one complete shot. This section is the most work-intensive, changing the background, deleting parts that need to be removed, adding other elements such as hill, trees and others, applying virtual 3D cameras and color grading. In the end everything comes together naturally. So it becomes a scene that is completely different from the original. Those are the stages in making visual effects. If you go deeper, the process is far more complex than described here. All of these stages are known as the VFX pipeline. Remember that each stage is carried out by different sections, and each section can contain hundreds of people with different software. One scene can take months to process. Now you know how complicated the process of creating the visual effects.